Loretta Lynch fights to protect Muslims, silent on the Laquan McDonald case. Loretta Lynch fights to protect Muslims, silent on the Laquan McDonald case. Thank you for tuning to the Black Political Buzz Network, and my name is Laurel. On this vlog, I want to discuss U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch. Mrs. Lynch is the first black woman Attorney General of the United States. She was nominated to fulfill the office after previous U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder resigned. Eric Holder was the first black man ever nominated to be the U.S. Attorney General. The first black male U.S. Attorney General should have been Vernon Jordan. Vernon Jordan worked for former Bill Clinton. He was the general counsel, the general White House counsel for Bill Clinton. He was a black man, and he was really good at what he did. And I personally believe that Vernon Jordan should have been the first U.S. Attorney General, black male U.S. Attorney General. However, it was Eric Holder. Eric Holder was very effective. The man he knew the law. Eric Holder, no one can deny that Eric Holder was well versed in the law. He knew the Constitution very well, and he was very well versed in federal cases. You know, federal cases supersede state cases. I think that in this climate that we're currently experiencing politically in our nation, many people seem to forget that federal law trumps or supersedes state law. But anyway, Eric Holder was well versed in federal law. And he was really good at his job. So good that he experienced, unbelievable persecution. Eric Holder received persecution from not only did he receive persecution from the media and from Congress, but also President Obama gave Eric Holder a lot of pushback as well, because Eric Holder wanted to help people, including black people. President Obama was not real big, and he wasn't very keen on Eric Holder helping black people. Now, it was okay for Eric Holder to help gay people and, Muslims and white women. And I'm not anti-gay. I'm not anti-Muslim, and I'm not anti-white women. I'm just speaking of fact. President Obama was fine with Eric Holder using his authority as the U.S. Attorney General to help the gay community, the LGBT community, white women and Muslims and Latinos and Native American Indians, but he did not. President Obama did not want Eric Holder to help the black people in America. So Eric Holder and President Obama, they butted heads quite frequently when it came to Eric Holder intervening in cases like the Michael Brown case, which that did require a federal investigation. That did require the use of Eric Holder's federal office. So, after Eric Holder stepped down and resigned due to enormous pressure, from the media, members of Congress, and the White House, after Eric Holder resigned, President Obama nominated Miss Loretta Lynch, who is a native of North Carolina. Contrary to what many people believe, Loretta Lynch is not a native of New York. No, she is not. She worked in New York, but she was not a native of New York. Miss Lynch is a native of North Carolina. So please do not confuse Miss Lynch and the way that she practices law and the way that she conducts herself with New York. She's not a New Yorker. not a native New Yorker. She is a native North Carolinian. And if you want to know my stance on black people from the South, from the deep South, like North Carolina, then you need to check out some of the content of my content on Facebook, my blog, previous videos, and you'll see. And unless you are a black citizen living in North Carolina, then you cannot tell me that my observations are incorrect. Unless you are a black citizen who lives in North Carolina or has lived in North Carolina for some time. So, returning my attention to Loretta Lynch. Now, we know that last week in San Bernardino, California, there was a mass shooting, quote unquote, / media diversion. There was a planned mass shooting / media diversion by two ISIL radical Islam extremists. This was a man and a woman, a married couple who were radical Islamist extremists and supporters of ISIL, and they shot up a mental health a health clinic. It was a health clinic that serviced or treated people that had developmental disabilities, people that had mental illnesses and developmental disabilities. It was a health clinic. And this couple, one of whom was employed at that clinic, they killed 14 innocent human beings, American citizens, injured many more. But Loretta Lynch came out and made a declaration. Her declaration was that she would use the full extent of the law and her authority to prosecute any American citizen who calls out ISIL, their brutal acts on American soil, or she would use the full extent of her office and her authority to prosecute any American citizen who threatens or offends Muslim citizens. Now, no one should threaten a Muslim citizen, just as no one should threaten an American citizen. No one should be threatening any human being. But what's wrong with calling out radical Islam extremists? Because that's what happened in San Bernardino, California. ISIL admitted that the man and woman were their supporters. ISIL organization, the ISIL leaders organization, they admitted, they confirmed that that man and woman were ISIL organization supporters. ISIL is an radical Islamist extremist organization. So anyone who follows or supports ISIL is also a radical Islamist extremist. That is not bashing Muslims to admit that. That's not bashing Muslims, because not all Muslims are radical extremists. Most Muslims are peaceful people. I repeat, most Muslim citizens in the world are peaceful people. There's only a small percentage of Muslims who are radical extremists. But Loretta Lynch says that, aside from the mass shooting that took place in San Bernardino by two radical Islamist extremists who were confirmed supporters of ISIL, she will prosecute American citizens who offend any Muslim citizen. And like I said earlier, we should not be offending, or we should not be threatening. No one should be threatening American citizens. No one should be threatening Muslim citizens. Now, I didn't hear Loretta Lynch say anything about the Laquan McDonald case. Now her office, the media, the mainstream media, announced that there will be a federal investigation into the case of Laquan McDonald, a 17-year-old black boy who was in foster care, who was shot 16 times by the Chicago police last year in 2014, while Mayor Rahm Emanuel was running for re-election. Laquan McDonald was shot 16 times by the Chicago police. Now, the mainstream media has announced that Mrs. Lynch's office will conduct a federal investigation. I don't believe it will be. However, the mainstream media, which is run by the White House, the mainstream media, including Fox News, which is run by the White House, has announced there will be a federal investigation conducted into the Laquan McDonald murder case. Now, I didn't hear Loretta Lynch step out in the media and express her condolence to the family of Laquan McDonald. I didn't hear Loretta Lynch go to the mic and publicly express her disappointment and what happened with Laquan McDonald's, murder. I didn't hear any rage come. I didn't hear her express any kind of anger, any righteous indignation. She didn't Loretta Lynch did not express any type of righteous indignation about the cover-up in the Laquan McDonald case, because it was an obvious cover-up. But she went out to the mic and publicly expressed her righteous indignation against Muslims living on American soil being offended because someone says these words: radical Islamist extremists. Because she doesn't want Muslims to be offended. No one is bashing Muslim people. I love Muslims. I love all human beings, because I'm a Christian and I love all human beings, because we were all created by God in God's image. But there are extremists in every group. There are extremists in the Christianity circles. There are extremists in the Muslim circles, in circles of Islam. But it's okay to call a Christian extremist. It's okay for the mainstream media to bash Christianity, make fun of Christianity, make all Christians look bad and hateful and stupid and crazy. And Loretta Lynch, she is quiet on that front. She's quiet on that front. When Christians are being bashed in the media and made to appear to look like we're idiots, Loretta Lynch is quiet. When black people are being mistreated, Loretta Lynch is quiet. But when Muslims are offended, or President Obama is offended, then Loretta Lynch speaks out. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I'm not bashing Loretta Lynch, but this is a fact that she did speak out to protect Muslims living on American soil when she did not say anything about the Laquan McDonald case at all. That's a fact. Thank you for tuning into my network, Black Political Buzz, and this is Laurel. Have a great day and goodbye.